Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Bear Beer Reviews. Today we're going to be trying something a little bit different. We're going to be doing some cooking with bear. Today we've got two recipes on the go. We're going to be doing a really simple beer bread mix and recipe. It shouldn't take long at all, it takes about 15 minutes to make. And the other one's going to be a good old traditional kind of bar snack. Then we're going to do some beer glazed nuts. So I'm going to get it all set up and then I'll be back with you in a minute or two. Okay, so this is all you're going to need to be able to make some beer glazed nuts. We have about 3.5 cups worth of cashew nuts on there, and we have a cup of brown sugar, a tablespoon of table salt, and some black pepper to taste. And we're also going to be using about 200 millilitres of whatever your favourite ale is. I mean, it's really up to you. Different ales will give a completely different flavour to the beer nuts that we're going to make. I'm going to go for a nice golden ale, so something will be nice and rich, but you could use an IPA and you might get some nice citrusy notes and flavours in there, or something like a stout and you might get some nice chocolatey flavours or something of the sort. So it's really up to you what you want to be trying there. The only other things that you're going to need as well is some kitchen foil and a tray, and I'm just using some oil spray to kind of just make sure it's all lubricated, nice and slippy. And you're going to need to set your oven to about 375 degrees Fahrenheit, just so we can bake the nuts after we've popped the glaze on. Alrighty, so I've just got a pan on the hob here, and all we have to do is literally just add in all of the ingredients by your choice of nuts until we have made the glaze. So I'm just pouring in the beer, a whole ton of sugar going on in there, good bit of salt, and you can just add some black pepper to taste. One handy technique, go! Very successful, as you can probably tell. So I'm just going to add a little bit in and I'll taste it again in a little while. Make sure you give it a nice little stir to make sure it all gets on in there, and you want to be bringing this up to the boil and let it simmer for about 10 minutes to get it nice thick reduction going on. It's important to give it a nice little stir just because you want to get it to all dissolve. It all needs to dissolve really well in there. Okie dokie, so it's been about 10 minutes. You can see the little mixture down there is boiling away nicely. But quick tip, see when it is done, if I just dip a spoon in, can you see how the glaze is just sticking to the back of the spoon? Hi, by the way, you can see my reflection. And kind of crystallising on the spoon. That's how you know it is done and ready to kind of glaze your nuts with. By the way, it tastes absolutely phenomenal. It is such a malty sweetness, and you can really taste the hops in it as well. There's a nice citrusy flavour coming through, but the main flavour is that malty sweetness, and you can just tell it's going to taste so good when you pop it onto the nuts. So without further ado, I'm going to pour in 3.5 cups-ish worth of nuts. There we go. And I'm just going to mix them around to make sure they all get coated in this fantastic glaze. Give them a really good mix, and there's going to be a ton of glaze left over as well, so you can always use it for something else if you wanted to. You can pop it onto something like a steak or anything of the sort, trying to give it a bit of extra flavour. Or if you're a vegetarian like me, you could also try pop it on a good old block of tofu is a good marinade. So there we are, nice good old mix. It's all good and sticky, and all I'm going to do is pour it out onto the baking tray, which I've lined with the foil, and I've also put the cooking oil spray on it to make sure nothing's going to stick. So get all that out onto there. There's still some nuts left, so I'll just sort them out in a minute and give them a good old spread around. Don't let them clump up too much, or you'll get some massive sticky bits. Although it might make quite nice brittle, having said that, so you never knew. So there we are, got it all mixed around, and simple as pop it in your oven and give it a good 15 to 20 minutes to let the glaze really thicken up even more and stick to those nuts, and I shall see you when we get it out of the oven. Cheers. Now, you know you're going to be successful when you can see something bubbling away as much as that is. And you can probably tell it's going to get really nice, thick and gloopy when it's in the oven. By the time we get it out, it's going to be some really sticky nuts. Can't wait. Okay, here we are, 15 minutes later. So let's open up the oven and see what we've got inside. Oh, look at that. Oh, It looks glorious and it smells even better. So if I pull this out, shut that, and all I've done is lay out some extra tin foil just so we can pop this on the top of the counter. And you just want to make sure that you can break all the clumps up inside of it, so I'm going to pour it out onto the sheet underneath, and then break up any clumps at all and pop it into a bowl, let them cool down, and then about half an hour's time that would be perfect for eating. So there you go, that's how you do some beer nuts. Give it a try yourself, mix it up, try different beers on it. One of the things that I've done before is pop some spices on, so I have like a little mix of smoked paprika, some sea salt, thyme and rosemary, and it seems to work really well. These ones are absolutely super sticky sweet, so I might start to try something different with it another time, maybe put some rock salt on the top or something like that, just to add a little bit of counterbalance to the sweetness. But I can guarantee you, in fact, sure, if we try one, I'll get one of these burnt ones because I want to save that to someone else. We should try one. Oh, yeah. Malty beer goodness, wonderful. Okay, onto the beer bread. This one is just as simple as making those nuts. All you're going to need is about 375 grams of self-raising flour. You're going to need 330 millilitres of your favourite ale. Again, ale choice will play a huge role in how the recipe is going to turn out. Again, I'm using a golden ale, kind of middle of the road, but once more, IPA, something more citrusy, or a dark chocolate stouty sort of thing, will really thicken and heavy up your bread, and will make it, I think it'd be a really rich flavoured bread, that would be. You're going to need about 3 tablespoons of caster sugar, and also just a little bit of a pinch of salt. So, just going to throw that all into a large mixing bowl. I didn't mention you're going to need a loaf tin as well, and I've just sprayed that with a little bit of the cooking spray that I had earlier just to grease it out. So literally pour all of the said ingredients into your bowl and pinch of this just for a bit of flavour, and begin to mix it really nice and gently with a wooden spoon. I'm just going to pour a bit of beer in and work it in really carefully, and then you're going to have to move on to your hands afterwards. So a bit of beer, work all the ingredients in. Wooden spoon is quite important because it stops it sticking as badly. Things don't seem to stick as badly on a wooden spoon. Mix that all up a bit. I need a bit more liquid in. As you can probably see, the beer has pretty much got every other ingredient that you need apart from the flour, really. It's full of fizz, so it'll help the bread rise all nice, hence why you won't need some yeast in this. The self-raising flour obviously helps with that as well because it's got baking soda in, but it's also got all the nutrients and all the flavour and a ton of sugar as well to kind of help your bread rise, really. Okay, it's getting a bit sticky now, so I'm going to start mixing it with my hands, and I'll cut back to you when I'm about to pour it into the loaf tin. Alright, so there you go, nice thick sloppy mixture. It is going to be a really sloppy dough, but that's fine. And can you see the consistency? It kind of sticks to your spoon, but it's definitely sloppy. It's not a kind of traditional kneading dough. It's going to be very slippery. Right, so pour that into your loaf tin. Use that one there. And you want to have your oven about 180 degrees Celsius to be able to cook this, and it needs to go into the oven for about an hour, 50 to 60 minutes. One of the top tricks that I learned when I learned how to make this bread was that about 10 minutes to go, get some melted butter and pop it on the top of the bread. So open your oven up and just spread it on onto the top of the bread, and it'll leave a really nice thick and kind of crispy topping to your loaf. So it gives it a little bit of extra texture and a little bit of extra flavour as well. Okay, so I'll just pop this in the oven and I'll cut back to it again in a little bit and we'll see how it's baking. Okie dokie, so it's been going for about 15 minutes now, and you can just about see how much it's risen in the time that it's been in there. And it's already starting to get a bit golden on the top as well. So it's still got another good half an hour really before it's properly cooks through. You can already see the beer works its magic and makes a fantastic bread. Alrighty, here we are, an hour later. I opened it up about 10 minutes ago and put a little bit of melted butter on the top, like I said, and here is the result. Look at that for a bread, eh? Risen like a pro, risen like a pro. Yeah, you can see how well, it's a really simple recipe, you know, it just is a bit of flour, a bit of salt, a bit of sugar, and our favourite ingredient, beer, and you can see how much it just pops up. If I put the camera down the side, there you go, you see it proper raises up like anything. So I've just got to let it rest a little bit, and then we can do a bit of cutting and do a bit of sampling of our beer and, our bread and the nuts as well. Alright, so this is what a successful day of cooking looks like. Really simple recipes, but absolutely fantastic and amazing results. And you can see I just cut open the bread so you can see the inside. It's absolutely lovely and moist. If I just get a bit there, you can see it's sticky as anything. It's cooked through. It's definitely cooked through. It's got a firm kind of texture and crumb to it, and it just tastes like beer. It's like malty and hoppy, and the moisture's really nice. It kind of feels nice and thick. It'd be great with a nice bit of stew or something. And on the nuts front, well, I've been chewing on these all day. Again, the quality of the beer just seems to cut through everything. It might be very sweet. I mean, we did use a lot of sugar on them, but they're also very malty. It's a malty kind of sweetness. It's kind of biscuity, cakey kind of flavour, as opposed to a straight up sweet sugar flavour. And there is a little tinge of this kind of bitterness and hoppiness in it as well. You know, beer really comes across well in these very, very simple recipes. And you know, I'll try them time and time again. I've done these before, but I'll definitely try it again with other different styles of beer and see what the results are. But so far, looking good, looking good. So if you want to try the recipes, make a video response, or just comment, tell me how it goes, send me a message, anything, because I'm intrigued and I want to know what other people are going to be using in terms of beer, and see what the results come out like. So yeah, get in touch. Thanks guys.